Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. It is Thursday, November 13th, 2025. College basketball, NBA, NHL, college football, soccer, Thursday night football. On this day, we're going to predict who wins the MVP in each sport and news and notes to close. All right, college basketball will be first. We're going to rapid fire the results of note from yesterday and look ahead to today, which is not busy at all, which is good for the sake of the show. Georgetown over Binghamton 83-70. Number 20 Tennessee over North Florida 99-66. Marshall over Elon 96-89. Longwood over James Madison 81-70 or 82-72. South Carolina over Presbyterian 81-61. East Tennessee State over Northern Kentucky 75-63. Western Michigan over Purdue Fort Wayne 83-71. South Florida over Coppin State 100-50, so they doubled them up. VC over St. Peter's 78-61. Indiana over Milwaukee 101-70. Boston University over Brown 90-77. Virginia Tech over St. Joe's 94-59. St. Bonaventure over Siena 75-66. George Washington over American 107-67. Canisius over Mercyhurst 58-55. Number 1 Houston over Oakland 78-45. Vandy over Eastern Kentucky 92-62. Tulsa over Oral Roberts 88-87. Missouri over Minnesota 83-60. Texas State over UTSA 80-69. Marquette over Little Rock 89-49. Middle Tennessee over Evansville 77-72. Valpo over Nichols 68-63. NC State over UNC Greensboro 110-64. Oklahoma State over Prairie View 94-67. Texas over Fairleigh Dickinson 93-58. South Dakota over Southern Indiana 89-74. Tennessee Martin over Bradley 78-67. Sanford over Texas Southern 93-90 in overtime. Bryan over Dartmouth 82-75. Utah State over Weber State 83-73. UC San Diego over Fresno State 78-73. Colorado State over Cal Poly 93-79. San Diego over Idaho 78-74. Manhattan over Utah Tech 79-75. Oregon over South Dakota State 83-69. Oregon State over North Texas 66-64. Nevada over Southern Illinois 86-81 in overtime. San Fran over Portland State 80-70. Seattle over Eastern Washington 94-67. Pacific over Long Beach State 69-66. Stanford over Montana State 77-68. And Hawaii over Miss Valley State 88-56. All right, 11 o'clock on YouTube this morning is going to get underway any minute from St. Petersburg, the MacArthur Center, Central Michigan, South Alabama. My line is South Alabama by 15, and South Alabama is 5.5, total 142.5. I'll lay it with the Jaguars. 6 o'clock, Cornell Lafayette. I have Lafayette as a 7-point dog, and it's 5.5 in favor of Cornell, total 158.5. I'll go under. That's a high total. Fox Sports 1. Pitt, West Virginia. I have West Virginia 2.5 and 6.5, total 133.5. I'll take Pitt to cover. I don't think they'll win. I think they covered. 6:30 San Jose State. Number 17 Michigan State. I have Michigan State 27.5. It's 24.5, total 142.5. I'll lay it with Sparty. 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Number 2 Purdue. Number 8 Alabama from Tuscaloosa. It's a big one, of course. My line is Bama by a half. And it's 2.5, total 174.5. I'll take Purdue plus the 2.5, but if I did totals, I would take the under, because that's a high number. Alcorn State, Howard. I have Howard by 30. In a 7.5, total 154.5. I love Howard minus the points. Next up, Lemoyne, UMass. My line is UMass 25, and it's... Oh, wait a second. I was looking at UMass Lowell. Yeah, UMass is giving 14.5, total 156.5. I'll lay with UMass. All right, New Jersey battle. Monmouth Seton Hall. Is it from the Prudential Center? Yes. I've Seton Hall by 28, and it's 14.5 total 137.5. I'll lay it with the Pirates. UMass Lowell, Columbia by 5, and it's 13.5 total 156.5. I'll take Lowell plus the 13.5. Southern Miss Grambling from Grambling. I have Southern Miss by 12. And it's 1.5 total 150.5. I'll lay with Southern Miss. It's kind of a pick'em right now, but FanDuel doesn't do pick'ems. Loyola Chicago, Wichita State at 7:30. The Grambling game is 7:30 too. So I have Wichita 17.5, and it's 4.5 total 152.5. So past Cinderella's going at it, meaning school wise. I'm gonna lay it with Wichita State. FIU LSU at 8 o'clock. My line is LSU 26, and it's 20.5 total 159.5. I'll lay with LSU. Green Bay St. Thomas. I have St. Thomas by 24. It's 13.5 total 153.5. I'll lay it with St. Thomas. Yale Monroe Houston Christian. I have Houston Christian 15.5, and it's 9.5 total 142.5. I'll lay with Houston Christian. The Bulldog Bash. Charleston Southern and Alabama A&M have Charleston Southern by 5. And it's Bama A&M 1.5 to 153.5. I'll take Charleston Southern plus 1.5 and plus 102 to win straight up. And last but not least, 9 o'clock on CBS Sports Network, Kansas State. I have Kansas State 17.5 and a 7.5 to 162.5. I'll lay the points with Kansas State. All right. Next up, we'll do the NBA. We'll recap last night's games and look ahead to tonight, which we only have 3 games. Some interesting results, to say the least. Hornets over the Bucks 111-100. Pistons over the Bulls 124-113. Magic over the Knicks 124-107. So the Knicks lose at home for the first time this season. Celtics over the Grizzlies 131-95. Cavs over the Heat 130-116. Rockets over the Wizards 135-112. Blazers over the Pelicans 125-117. Warriors over the Spurs 125-120. Suns over the Mavs 123-114. Thunder over the Lakers 121-92. Hawks over the Kings 133-100. And the Nuggets over the Clippers 130-116. All right, so tonight 7 o'clock on NBA TV, Raptors Cavs. I have Cavs by 7. And the Cavs are 7.5 total 238.5. That's a hard one. I'm gonna go with the over only because the Cavs have been scoring a lot of points lately and their guys are back tonight. 9 o'clock Pacers Suns. I have the Suns by 5 and it's 4.5 total 233.5. I'll go over. And Hawks Jazz. My line is the Hawks by 1 and it's 2.5 total 232.5. So my lines are like spot on. Wow. I'm going over in that one as well. Okay, now move on to hockey. We'll go over the results from yesterday. It was only a couple of games, and then look ahead to tonight, which is busy. Rangers over the Lightning 7-3. Oilers over the Flyers 2-1 in OT. Mammoth over the Sabres 5-2, and the Devils over the Blackhawks 4-3 in overtime. So I came close to nailing the Blackhawks pick. All right, a lot of games today. 7 o'clock, Kings Leafs from Toronto. The Leafs are probably an overvalued favorite yet again. Whoa, they're actually a dog. The Kings are minus 137. The Leafs are plus 114. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 130. Unders plus 106. Kings minus 1.5 plus 176. Leafs plus 1.5 is minus 20. Oh, I think Austin Matthews is hurt, so that makes sense. Yeah, Austin Matthews is hurt. That's why the Kings are a minus. I think it's like a market overreaction in a way to an injury, but I'm going to go with the Kings in regulation on the road at plus 115. Stars Habs. Habs minus 122. Stars plus 102 over under 5.5. Overs minus 122. Unders even money. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 60. Habs minus 1.5 plus 205. I think there's more value on the Stars. I'm taking them plus 102. Bruins Senators. Sens minus 156. Bruins plus 130 over under 5.5. Overs minus 142. Unders plus 116. Bruins plus 1.5 is minus 192. Sens minus 1.5 plus 154. I'm going to go with the same pick as I did in the first game I took. Senators in regulation at even money. Ducks Red Wings. Red Wings minus 140, Ducks plus 116, over under 6.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Ducks plus 1.5 is minus 205, Red Wings minus 5 plus 164. I'm going with the upset. I'm taking Anaheim at plus 116 on the road. Capitals, Panthers, they have the same number of points. Panthers minus 125, Caps plus 104, over under 5.5, overs minus 124, unders plus 102. Caps plus 1.5 is minus 245, Panthers minus 1.5 plus 194. I'm going to take the under 5.5 at plus 102. 7:30 ESPN Plus and Hulu. Oilers, Blue Jackets. Excuse me. The Oilers minus 104. The Jackets are slight favorites. Minus 115, over under 6.5. Overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Oilers plus 1.5 is minus 250. Jackets minus 1.5 plus 205. I'm actually going to go with the Blue Jackets at home at minus 115. 9 o'clock, Sabres, Avalanche. Avs minus 375. The Sabres are plus 290, over under 6.5. Overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Sabres plus 1.5 is plus 122. Avs minus 1.5 minus 150. I'm going over 6.5 at minus 114. Sharks, Flames. Flames minus 170. Sharks plus 140, over under 6.5. Overs plus 112. Unders minus 138. Sharks plus 1.5 is minus 176. Flames minus 1.5 plus 142. I'm going with the over at plus money. 10 o'clock, Islanders, Golden Knights. These two teams have the same number of points. Both my Stanley Cup picks are still in the teens in points, and the team I root for has more points than them. That's crazy. But it's still early in the year. Vegas minus 184, Isles plus 152, over under 6.5, overs plus 104, under minus 128. Isles plus 1.5 is minus 164, Vegas minus 1.5 plus 134. I'm going to lay the puck line with Vegas minus 1.5 at plus 134. I think this is a smash spot for Vegas. Jets, Kraken. Jets minus 146, Kraken plus 122, over under 5.5, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Jets minus 1.5 plus 172, Kraken plus 1.5 is minus 215. I'm going to go with the under 5.5 at minus 102. All right, now we'll move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from yesterday, and we'll look ahead to today. Soccer's not busy right now, which is good. It's a lot of UEFA stuff. So yesterday, Women's Champions League, Barcelona over Leuven 3-0. Bayern over Arsenal 3-2. Juventus over Atletico Madrid 2-1. Benfica FC 21 draw. And Man United over PSG 2-1. Friendlies, Tunisia, Mauritania 1-1 draw. Russia, Peru 1-1 draw. Barbados over Bonaire 3-2. St. Martin over Dominica 2-1. Cuba over St. Lucia 3-0. Anguilla over Bahamas 2-1. Antigua and Barbuda and Aruba 0-0 draw. St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Martin 0-0 draw. British Virgin Islands over Cayman Islands 2-1. And DR over St. Vincent and the Grenades 2-0. All right, so international friendly results from earlier. New Guinea over Solomon Islands 1-0. Hong Kong, Cambodia 1-1 draw. Thailand over Singapore 3-2. Bangladesh and Nepal 2-2 draw. Going on now is Iran and Cape Verde Islands. Coming up at 11:30 is Algeria and Zimbabwe. Nunia, Czechia and San Marino. Lithuania, Israel, North Macedonia and Latvia. And at 7:30 is Canada and Ecuador. We don't have time to pick these games. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe tomorrow. The CAF going on now is Nigeria, Gabon, and 2 o'clock is Cameroon and Congo. AFC is UAE and Iraq. CONCACAF coming up tonight, 5 o'clock, Suriname and El Salvador at 5 at 7, Bermuda and Curacao, Trinidad and Jamaica, 9 o'clock Guatemala, Panama, Haiti, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, and Honduras. UEFA at noon, Armenia, Hungary, Azerbaijan, Iceland, and Norway, Estonia. 2:45 Andorra, Albania, England, Serbia, France, Ukraine, Moldova, Italy, and Ireland, Portugal. So the last 5 I listed off are all 2:45 games. So there you have it for soccer. Now move on to college football. We have a couple games to go over, and we only have one game tonight in college football. So we have the 3 action from last night. We'll touch on that. First, Central Michigan over Buffalo, 38-19. Northern Illinois over UMass, 45-3. And Toledo over Miami of Ohio, 24-3. One game tonight, 7:30, ESPN, Troy Old Dominion. My line's Old Dominion, 1.5, total 53 and a fifth. And Old Dominion is 10.5, total is 52.5. I'm going to take Troy getting to 10. The Hook guys, a lot of points. And then we have 2 games tomorrow, 2 awesome games, 1 ACC and 1 Big Ten. And then we obviously have the big show tomorrow. All right, Thursday Night Football. On Amazon tonight, Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on the call. Jets, Patriots. So the Jets obviously coming off the win over the Browns. Patriots coming off the big win over Tampa in Tampa. My line's New England by 16.5, total 47 and a 10th. And it's 12.5 and 43.5. So I'm going to lay the big number with the Patriots. Obviously, the Jets pretty much traded some key players. No Garrett Wilson. I know the Patriots are missing Ramondre Stevenson and the linebacker Ellis, but I don't think it's going to matter. Drake May and company, they're going to win by 2 or 3 scores. And I think Vrabel may want to run it up a little bit against the Jets. So I'm going to lay it at 12.5 with New England over the Jets. And if I had best bet, if I had the NFL Thursday bet, this would have been it. Best bet would have been, or I might bet it because I'll be back in my home state later where I could bet. I might do, if I were, I'll definitely bet Troy. Troy and the Patriots. Maybe I'll do a parlay. We'll see. All right. On this day, we skipped on this day yesterday. We have to do yesterday's, and if today's came out, we'll do it. But here's the thing with, so we did November 11th. November 12th we didn't do. That was yesterday. So November 13th didn't come out yet. So we'll do both. We're staring at a 90-minute, 2-hour show on Friday. We're gonna have to do 2 on Friday. All right. So yesterday's on this day. So 2023, Texas A&M fires Jimbo Fisher. The Jimbo Fisher Texas A&M era was a dud. And they quickly moved on to Mike Elko. He was only there for 3 years, Jimbo Fisher? A lot of these SEC schools are very, impatient with, these coaches. I mean, Bama's lucky that the board's worked out so far, because if it hasn't, then that's another hot seat coach in that conference. He was on the hot seat when they lost to Florida State, but then again, the board is a loss away from being back on the hot seat, though. Maybe 2 losses away. 2012, the Lakers hired Mike D'Antoni. We talked about this the other day because when they fired Mike Brown was on this day, the other day, and obviously they hired Mike D'Antoni, and everybody was surprised. 2020, Freddie Freeman named NL MVP. That was the COVID year. 2020, Jose Abreu named AL MVP. Also the COVID year. 2014, Clayton Kershaw wins NL Cy Young Award. It turned out that was his last one. And I believe he won the MVP that year, too. 2018, Shohei Ohtani named AL Rookie of the Year. 2012, Mike Trout named AL Rookie of the Year. He's way too many baseball ones. 2012, Bryce Harper named NL Rookie of the Year. 2017, Tennessee fires Butch Jones. I kind of remember that. 2014, Corey Kluber wins AL Cy Young Award. I remember that. I remember he had a breakout game against the Yankees. That Yankees team was old. It washed up Jeter, washed up Mark Teixeira, old A-Rod. You name every old guy they had the news year after they lost Robinson Cano. And they got shut out by him. And ever Twitter was being delirious. They got shut out by this no-name guy. And then all of a sudden this guy goes on to win the Cy Young. So looking back, Corey Kluber turned out to be pretty good. 2016 Pitt Stuns #2 Clemson. I kind of remember that. I think that was in Pitt too. In 2018, Ronald Acuna named NL Rookie of the Year. So way too much, like I said, way too much baseball awards in there. I know once next week rolls around, there's going to be a lot of not baseball awards. Who knows? Maybe it's going to be like COVID free agency in the NBA. So that's going to be interesting to see what these come up as within the next few weeks. All right, speaking of baseball awards, they're going to announce the MVP tonight. 7:30 on the MLB Network. So in the National League, your finalists are Shohei Ohtani, Kyle Schwarber, and Juan Soto. I personally don't think Juan Soto should have been in there because he just had a big second half and the Mets collapsed. So I don't think he belonged in there. I think it should have been Ohtani, Schwarber, and somebody else. Maybe I'm a little petty because he left the Yankees, but I don't think Juan Soto should have been in there, and he got nothing but killed in the first half of the season when he did absolutely jack shit, and all his better production came while they collapsed. So, I mean, I guess it was like Crochet with the Cy Young with the narrative thing, but the difference is that Crochet deserved to be a finalist. Juan Soto should not be a MVP finalist. And obviously, another story for another day. Shohei was going to win unanimously. Second, Schwarber. Third, Soto. AL MVP. It's Aaron Judge, it's Cal Raleigh, and it's Jose Ramirez, and that's the order I think it's going to be. I don't think the AL MVP is going to be as close as people say it's going to be, and Judge is going to run away with it, as he should, because he's the best player in the American League, and it ain't close. Cal Raleigh just hits home runs. All right, news and notes. We're going to do it rapid fire. So Austin Matthews has a lower body injury. He's going to be out a week. That's why they're an underdog tonight. The Orioles could be a surprise spender. One executive believes the only team willing to open the checkbook right now is Baltimore. That's crazy. Edwin Diaz contracted me as he's looking for essentially the same deal he opted out of. I do think the Mets can give him that. Byron Buxton wants to play for a winner and could waive no trade. That's crazy. So Brian Daboll threatened to demote the offensive coordinator as an anonymous Giants player describes incident of Daboll exploding at Mike Kafka. That's crazy. I wonder if that got him fired, other than the dart stuff. NJ.com has, I think, the worst reporters out there, period. They reported that an ex-teammate of Paul Skeens said that Skeens wants to play for the Yankees. He goes, trust me, he wants to play for the Yankees. And I think that's just Yanks for clicks, just like we used to make fun of Knicks for clicks. And then Skeens downplays it, and he goes, my goal is to win with the Pirates. Yeah, so I just think they're bullshit. And Mets interested in Cody Bellinger. Brian Cashman says that extension hasn't been discussed with Jazz Chisholm yet, and I don't think it should be yet, because I don't love him, as you guys know. Jalen Brunson was leaving MSG last night on crutches and in a boot after an ankle injury. I think that Mike Brown should be criticized for leaving him in a game that was over. Kind of like Tom Thibodeau would do. And then Mike Brown, after their first home loss, they kicked our ass. And then Paulo ruled out in the second quarter, left groin strain. So 2 star players got injured in that game. Mavs to discuss AD trade with Nico being fired. The signing awards, I was correct about Paul Skeens and Tariq Skubal, as they deserve it. NCAA vacates Michigan State's 14 wins as Jonathan Smith now has 0 Big Ten victories after league rules Spartans committed recruiting violations. That's crazy. Jonathan Kuminga didn't play against the Spurs. Bradley Beal's out for the year as he's getting surgery on a hip fracture. That sucks for him. I mean, he's always hurt. Mavs cautious with AD's return as team requested data indicating Davis won't aggravate calf injury. AJ Brown's not apologizing for his comments. He's just an immature POS at this point, even though his coach says he's all in. So Ricky Pearsall and Brock Purdy look like they're coming back against the Cardinals. MHJ's out this week against the Niners. Liam Cohen is mum on Travis Hunter's future. He's out for the year, as we talked about the other day. And that's really it for news and notes. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.